r/antiwork. Chickadee0 says, when you finally try to leave teaching. Included photo. Actington McKee says, unless you're under a contract they really can't make you do that. Studio Gangster 1 says, even if you are under a contract they can't make you do that. What is this, slavery? You think I'm just going to show up to a job that I no longer want to do? Frick your contract. Leverjack says, depending on the state and situation, they can file a complaint with the state licensing board and get your license suspended or revoked. In my state, you are required to give 60 days notice of resignation. They obviously can't force you to work, but they can get your license taken away, which may or may not matter depending on what ops situation is. Ace0G says, don't show up, what are they going to do? Fire you? Packers Taco says, if it's America, sue. Big Dada Cool 17 says, or likely file a complaint and get their teaching license suspended. The Simurg says, do they think you're a slave? Boom Zakalika says, a lot of teachers are under union contract. We don't know the related details. The Simurg says, even then, they wouldn't have the legal right to say hey we couldn't find a replacement, so you have to come in. At will means at will. Advamputee says, this exact thing happened to a friend of mine. He got an offer at a better school, tried to resign from his old school. They said no problem, as soon as we hire a replacement. The rest of the summer his transfer was approved pending a new hire, and a few days before the start of the new school year he got this exact letter, almost to the word. He decided to walk away, which meant being ineligible for a hire anywhere else in the state. He's currently finishing a master's, so he can teach in another state. r/antiwork. Homesick 2022 says, hiring manager said the job causes headaches and dizziness, but people get used to them. I got speechless when my friend told me this. My friend told me her hiring manager said people who start working in this company have headaches and dizziness, but in the end they get used to them. This work is related to electronic circuits and people inspect very little parts of the circuit using magnifying microscopes. Work around 10 to 12 hours/day, 5 to 6 days a week. I'm not interested in this job, are you? My friend doesn't know what to do. Kivrin2 says, that seems like a red flag issue. Driving4fan says, that seems like an OSHA problem. Slamagram says, I mean, they're saying some people get headaches and dizziness from looking through Mac glasses. Happens in my profession too. We have to look into microscopes. It isn't dangerous for your health. GraceyPoo1470 says, seems like there's some sort of workplace health hazard, whether it's chemicals or fumes or something of the sort. Interesting how those sorts of things always seem to be well known about by management and higher ups, but they downplay the severity or seriousness of the problem to their employees/subordinates. Ick now, the people whose health and well-being will suffer greatly. Nuka on the Rocks says, it's from looking through the microscope at very small parts. Been there. Shadow84 says, iced rain. Turkey Bakanulga Kado says, having done a fair bit of inspection work using microscopes, I can't imagine doing it all day, every day. Hell, after just a few hours looking through a scope, my vision in one eye would take at least 30 minutes to go back to normal. Doesn't surprise me in the least that many people would get headaches after a while. And if they're doing soldering under the scope. If their workstations aren't outfitted with proper fume extractors, yeah, they're gonna have a bad time. If I were your friend, I'd be looking to leverage the skills learned at the current job and pivot into something better. If she's got JSTD certifications, that's worth putting on the resume. Lord Nissus says. Well, tell your friend to take that job, document everything, and after 1 or 2 years claim debilitating constant migraines and find a good lawyer lol. Warren 9582 says. Most people wear earplugs, and I recommend taking a few Tylenol or Advil, or at least having some with you, while you adjust. It's totally normal to feel sore for the first couple of weeks. If it goes on longer than that, let us know, and we will try to find a different job for you. Yeah, it's like standard new hire talk for every factory I've ever worked at. r/antiwork. Bookbinder 5353 says. I got fired today. I asked my boss for help with a project, a massive amount of work that I didn't have the people to cover, and he fired me 2 days later. Shut down my laptop and Teams, and had a pair of other people make sure they got my laptop and cell. I was fired for refusal to work, which is patently false, and I have the proof that I asked for help. So I will be contacting an attorney. If anyone can recommend a trustworthy one for the WE area, I would appreciate it. But remember kids, they don't care about your success, retained customers, new customers, making the elite club 2 months in a row. They only care about their overinflated egos and blind obedience. Edit. Thank you everyone for the kind words and support. It helps soften the blow and gives me hope. El Cartographo says. You'll qualify for unemployment, but they'll probably deny initially. You'll just have to send your proof to the mediator. That's about your recourse here. Welcome to capitalism. Bookbinder 5353 says. Yep, I hate it here. Franca Phantasma says. Your boss sounds like a sack of dog turds. Dizziness says. Whoa, hey there, no need to be so down on dog turds. Never Winturban says. I got fired for poor performance recently. They never once said a word about my performance. They gave me 0 examples when I asked for some. I was the victim of politics and the company being mismanaged. I'm fighting unemployment right now, good luck to you. Tomalatus says. I don't have the hands to spare, so you'll just have to be burdened. You aren't working as fast as I want you to, so clearly you're slacking. I'm already short-staffed, so firing my burdened employee will fix the issue. AppBob313 says. How long have you worked there? If you're a new hire, you just can't carry the load. Bookbinder 5353 says. 3.5 years total, but only 6 months of management after the old owner sold to corporate. They put a massive amount of projects on my branch, and Bizatch Ed when they didn't get done, even as I worked 60-hour weeks trying to push through. Eric39 says. Old owner sold to corporate. That's your cue to start looking. Grey Jets says. If you have proof, documents and such, NLRB. Wife did this after a company fired her for talking about her salary. The company documented the reason for dismissal, gave it to my wife, who had her last review, which also documented the company policy and a copy of the handbook. NLRB took them to task, wife got a payout. r/antiwork. Biotius the Beast 383 says. New employer wants me to start working before background check is finished and offer letter is written. Ad displayed 45.60k. Verbally, they agreed to 1200/week salary. Said official offer would be written after background check clears and all other paperwork is done. Manager said has eager to start me right away. They're having an issue with background provider and the new system or something. Wants me to start immediately and they'll just work around clocking in and all that. I don't want to move my toolbox and everything in before getting paper in writing. I could move in, work for a week or 2 before finding out pay is 800/week or something. What's the diplomatic way to say I'm not starting until compensation is in writing, so I don't get screwed. Miyuki22 says, you are not employed until you are officially employed. This is a trap. Alumiuson says, yup, offer letter and payroll forms will somehow always be running late until you have given them a month of free work and are out the door. Not at all exciting says, thank you for wanting me to start right away. So that we are on the same page, could you please confirm pay and hours and start date in advance of the formal offer letter? Thanks. Celestial 8 Mumps says, this is it, just send an email with all the salient points just to confirm the conversation. If they don't, that's a huge red flag. Theba Jersinus says, I second this. Write something like, dear Mr. But Munch employer, I understand that you are hiring me to do X work at Y rate with the following benefits, A, B, and C. I also understand that you will be providing me with a formal letter of offer confirming the above. I'm very much looking forward to starting my permanent full-time position on /date. Please let me know if I have misunderstood any of the above before my start date. Regards. The best MF employee you're lucky to have this way. If there are any discrepancies, you'll have at least some legal basis upon which to challenge the aforementioned butt munch should butt munch decide to jerk you around. The Hungry Blanket says, they can still send you a formal offer with all the information you need and then add that it's pending a successful background check. If they don't do this, then run. Terra Sages says, nope. If you don't have the offer in writing and our paperwork, W4, done, then you absolutely shouldn't do work. I'm ready to work as soon as I have an offer in writing and a W4 to sign. Fixerguy 415 says, rule 1 in dealing with any corporation, if it ain't in writing it didn't happen. Get it in writing. Everything. Every detail discussed. The hiring manager may be reasonably square, but that doesn't mean his bosses are even remotely square at all, and they have the power to say yes or no to any deal the HM might offer. If the HM needs it, they can put in a disclaimer about the background check, but I wouldn't budge an inch without having the full offer in writing because I'm 45 plus years working. Ixoid types are turd workers and typically they will lie without hesitation or even a second thought if it serves them. Since the Xoite almost always has to approve a hire, you're not going to be served by depending on their honesty. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.